Think about the last time you heard something juicy about a coworker. You leaned in, you wanted more. You probably repeated it within the hour. You call this a guilty pleasure, something petty. But the real answer is far stranger. That urge is not a flaw in your character. It might be one of the reasons your species is still alive. For most of human history, there were no laws, no police, no courts. Yet early humans lived in groups of dozens, sometimes hundreds, without collapsing into constant violence. How? Somebody was talking about somebody. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar noticed something odd about primates. Apes groom each other constantly, not just for hygiene. Grooming builds trust, but it only works one-on-one. You can only groom so many friends before the day runs out. Humans found a workaround. Dunbar's theory is simple and a little unsettling. Language may not have evolved to describe the world. It evolved so we could talk about each other. With language, you can groom an entire network at once. Warn 10 people about someone who cheated, who can't be trusted with food during a famine. One conversation replaces 100 hours of physical grooming. Dunbar's research suggests this may be a major reason human brains grew so large, so fast. Bigger brains for bigger gossip networks. Here's where it gets stranger. Dunbar also found a number, roughly 150 people. That's the limit of stable relationships most human brains can meaningfully track. Hunter-gatherer clans hovered near that size. Even now, count how many people you actually keep up with. It's probably close. Beyond 150 people, personal memory isn't enough. Reputation has to take over. And gossip is how reputation travels. Picture a community of 40 people sharing a cave 12,000 years ago. No writing, no records. If someone stole meat, there was no ledger. Only word of mouth. By nightfall, everyone would know. The thief hadn't broken a written law. He'd broken trust in a network that remembered. Biologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy has argued this constant social monitoring is part of what let early humans cooperate in numbers other primates can't manage. Chimpanzee groups fracture past a certain size. Human groups, propped up by shared stories, kept expanding. Gossip wasn't corrosive, it was the glue. There's a reason it feels good to hear it too. Researchers Rob Willer and Matthew Feinberg studied what they called pro-social gossip. Warning others about a dishonest person doesn't just protect the group, it produces real satisfaction in the person doing the warning. That thrill is wired in. So what is gossip actually for? Not cruelty. Enforcement. Nearly every piece of gossip does one of a few jobs. Warning someone, punishing someone socially without violence, or checking whether your values still match the group's. Gossip is how you find out. Imagine a world with no reputation, no word getting around. A liar could deceive every person individually and never get caught, because victims would never compare notes. Gossip closed that loophole tens of thousands of years before anyone wrote a law. It's also why staying silent about wrongdoing feels so uncomfortable. Some old part of your brain registers silence as a failure, a duty broken. Here's the twist inside the twist. Gossip only works as glue if it's mostly accurate. Anthropologists studying small-scale societies have found that everyday gossip, the boring kind about who helped whom, tends to be true far more often than false. The dramatic lie is the exception people remember. The quiet, accurate update is what keeps a group functioning. Think about your own life, the group chat, the comment about a friend's new partner, the story about a coworker who took credit for someone else's work. You weren't just filling silence. You were doing what your ancestors did around a fire 40,000 years ago, for the same reason, keeping track of who can be trusted. Evolution rarely builds urges we can simply switch off because we've decided they're beneath us. Gossip is one of the oldest technologies your species ever built, older than agriculture, maybe older than most tools you'd recognize as tools. You didn't inherit a personality flaw. You inherited a survival mechanism, one that let a slow, weaponless primate build the largest cooperative groups on Earth, not through strength, but through information. So the next time you lean in to hear what someone did, don't be so quick to feel guilty. You're not gossiping. You're maintaining the network that has kept your species alive for 200,000 years, one conversation at a time.